Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery, Smart Money Alliance, and IIMFL. It is the last day of August, isn't it? August 31st, 7:59 a.m. Central. And our primary topic today is to reiterate the value proposition of the SBC, the Small Business Certification, and talk about a small tweak in the implementation process. Then we're going to open it up for Q&A, constructive criticism from each of you. So let's start with the mission statement of IIMFL, if you don't mind. We're a nonprofit organization committed to narrowing the racial wealth gap by teaching financial literacy, improving credit scores, and facilitating the development of minority-owned small businesses. A little while back, we rolled out the Entrepreneurship Program, which is a 4-week course that can be taught in person or online. And that's a curriculum that you would teach. The feedback that we started to receive from some of you is that you weren't quite ready, not quite comfortable, or some just didn't want to do the teaching. So we assimilated that, acted upon it, and then rolled out the small business certification. So if you go to the home screen, you'll see small business certification here, and it's also on the drop down. So that takes us over here. There's a brief YouTube video. Now this curriculum is the same as in the entrepreneurship program. It's 4 weeks in duration. The difference, as we covered before, is that the small business certification we teach for you, you still make the same money, versus the entrepreneurship program you teach for yourself. So it's using the same curriculum. The way that we're addressing this is that we're taking each weekly topic, recording it, and having it available on demand. And then after they viewed that, then they work with their assigned mentor. And a mentor is either a branch manager or a financial literacy educator that is going to assist them with the implementation of each of the steps. We did record over the weekend and have promoted. It's going out via press release actually today in about an hour nationally, that we've recorded the first topic, and you can access it by clicking here or copying and pasting this YouTube. This is important because you can use this as a free sample. You ever go to Costco or Sam's and some grocery stores, and maybe not in the pandemic's age, but it used to be that you go around and they give you little free samples. And a free sample is a proven strategy to help someone cross that bridge from considering a purchase to making a purchase. Now, we're not giving away little sausages, but what we're doing is actually giving them away access to the first educational topic, which is on planning for a successful business. So I strongly encourage you to do two things: to consider actually going through this first lesson so you better understand it. And frankly, it could be a learning tool if you need it, if you're going to teach the same curriculum on the entrepreneurship program, or just to get you familiar with the pace and the tone and the value of the message. The second thing that so the first encouragement was to view it yourself. The second is use it as a tool to generate conversions. And that could be used in two different ways. You could share that with prospective hosts and key influencers, the chambers, the churches, the business bankers. Encourage them to learn more about this curriculum that we're offering, and the best way for them to learn about that is to view this first video. Back before the whole pandemic, we did more in-person teaching than online, and I would always be very proactive in encouraging local business bankers and influencers to come to my live educational sessions. I want them sitting in the audience. I'd have presidents of banks sitting in the front row of the presentation to learn what we're talking about and then decide if they wanted to collaborate, which often they did. So here, in the absence of face-to-face and more of a virtual learning environment, you can provide them this YouTube link. There's no registration, there's no cost, there's no obligation. frankly, it's anonymous. They can just view it, or I guess not view it. But the bottom line is this is a significant new tool for each of you to be able to help increase your conversions. Conversions meaning clients that actually enroll in the small business certification training program. Because if we're helping them enroll in that, then we're helping fulfill our mission, which is improving financial literacy. And I think, and again, if you feel differently, but if you've watched this first 1 hour video and you feel that it does not significantly contribute to increased financial literacy for entrepreneurs, then let us know. I mean, we're thick-skinned. Constructive criticism is fine. But if you see any fault, any inaccuracies of what we're teaching in this first course, for example, let us know, because this curriculum was developed by the FDIC. It's promoted by the SBA, and we've exclusively, we being IIMFL, all of us, you and I, are exclusively delivering this small business certification. No other organization in the nation is authorized to teach this. And so it's good content. And if you've watched it, in summary, I think it will be a very helpful tool to build interest and confidence of key influencers, and also help your clients that are on the fence go ahead and enroll. So let me pause the screen share for a second. I want to bring up a different document, and we'll go through that here. Just a second, please. Okay, so this is what we emailed out this morning. It's just the simple revision to the implementation guide. This implementation guide, as we rolled out originally before the sample video was available, was announced that this is something that you certainly could share with prospective key influencers that you're approaching. And this becomes even better now because we have the link for the first lesson referenced. I will tell you, and we've made, I guess, 2 other small changes. We highlighted this in green because on a daily basis, including over this past weekend, we see so much interest in building business credit. And if you remember, business credit is the second of the 4 topics, the 4 weekly topics. And so it hits the nail on the head there. And again, this is a funnel builder for you, because if you are licensed as a life insurance agent, some of you are, some of you aren't, some of you aren't, but you want to be, and some of you aren't and don't want to be. But regardless, if you are set up fully as a financial literacy educator, you're being plugged in directly to the curriculum. You're not responsible for teaching the weekly class. We've established that. But then we're going to have an assigned mentor, and Jennifer here in our office is technically responsible for assigning a mentor to every client going through the SBC. Talk about the small business certification. Now, of course, if you referred the client, you have first right of refusal to be their mentor, of course, because that way you're not only making the money up front, you're also making the back end income. If you're not life licensed and not set up properly, then you can't do the mentoring, right? Because it's going to be a broken system. So you can make the upfront money without any requirements of being life licensed or being set up as a financial literacy educator. That's fine. But to actually be the mentor and work with the clients, then you need to be on Jennifer's list. And so that means you're set up and in good standing. And so she'll be assigning clients to those of you that are eligible to be one of the mentors. The mentor is not a different role in terms of a job title. You could either be a branch manager or a financial literacy educator and be qualified to be a mentor, which means you have to be life insurance licensed, because part of what we're doing is we're educating them on asset protection, wealth creation, and in many cases, we're implicitly building their loan package for them as they go through that 4-week process. And we all know that that collateral assignment serves an important purpose. Okay, so what I want to do is make sure that we're addressing any questions that each of you have, because our goal is to work with each of you and enroll at least 20 clients apiece from each of you in the month of September. If that's exceeding your level of commitment, we need to start addressing, what you're expecting out of this relationship, because we need to have a big impact in the community. We need to have lots of people enrolling, so we're generating lots of results. And again, results are related to those 3 measures that we mentioned in the mission statement. We need to document that we're improving financial literacy. Well, if you've gone through this sample course that I put up here and shared with you, we're tracking pre and post information as well as doing an evaluation. Secondly, we need to document that we're improving the credit scores, personal and or business, of small business owners. That's part of this curriculum. And then obviously we're wanting to help in the development of minority-owned businesses regarding access to capital. And that's the goal, is to provide them the foundation of knowledge and positioning so they can access capital. All right, so let's get to your questions, comments, concerns, because that's what we're here to do, to vet through, because we're continuing to strive to provide you the tools and the training and the techniques, but we're looking, of course, for leaders, those leaders that implement. And leaders can be branch managers or simply financial literacy educators. But without implementation on your part, there's really no benefit of collaborating, right? We're just listening instead of acting. Okay, Mr. King says he viewed it, looks great. Thank you. And so we're recording now each week the 4 weekly sessions. So let me pause the share again, and we'll go back to where we were. Excuse me a second here. We'll get that pulled back up. So week 1, we recorded this past weekend, and it's live. We said that we're going to start enrolling people in the small business certification on 9/1, but today's just fine. You can get them in early. But with that being said, then this weekend we will record week 2, which is fine because we're still ahead of the first group, and then that'll be on credit. Week 3 is on financial management, and then week 4 is on banking and money. These are exactly the same lessons, the same PowerPoints, the same handouts, the same speaker's guides that you have access to if you want to be teaching it. So we have a question here, and the question is, will we come out and teach this in person, this 4-week curriculum in person for you? Yes. So we would compress it to 1 day. We would address all 4 topics in 1 day. It would be a 1-day event. The pricing would be the same. We would split the revenue the same, but it would be an in-person 1-day event. But we need a minimum of 20 attendees to make that happen. And so some of you have tried to do in-person classes and you didn't hit that number. But yes, thank you for asking. If you want us to come teach this curriculum in person in your community, absolutely. But it wouldn't be 4 weeks, it would be 1 day. But the revenue would still be split 50-50. We need a minimum of 20 attendees. It's a great question there. Thank you. Let's see. So Monique asked a good question. So understand, Monique, that there are 2 key elements of the small business certification. One half is the educational topic, and maybe it's easier described on this page here. So each week, and this is the same for the small business certification, this is exactly the same curriculum for both programs. Again, the difference is we're teaching this on the small business certification, you're teaching it for the entrepreneurship program. Okay, so while these topics will be recorded and available on demand through the small business certification, we will be working with them on implementation. So for example, on week 1, we don't just talk about the planning process, we help them build a business plan. So we use our live plan software, which we pay for, and we're going to build out both the verbiage, the wording, as well as the financial projections. So we teach and then we implement. on building business credit. We're going to talk about how credit works, but we're also going to then roll up our sleeves and help them implement thereafter, and the same for each of these. So I'm not really concerned about them seeing this information, the educational topics, because the educational topic only goes so far, right? We need to actually help them implement, and that's our real value proposition. So with that being said, I'm not worried about them seeing the educational material on a standalone basis. The power is the implementation, what we're doing there. Thank you for asking, Monique. Thank you for the positive feedback, Tony. Okay, so Renier's asking a good question. So it's not my choice, but according to state laws for all 50 states, to do some of the implementation aspects, you need to be licensed as a life insurance agent or securities licensed. And because of some of the nature of what we're doing, like the financial needs analysis and building out their financial plans. So with that being said, if you're a branch manager like you are, Renier, but you're not life licensed, that's okay. Then you can have under your branch someone that's life licensed that does this for your branch. That is perfectly fine. But if you're not life licensed and you don't have someone you're working with, then you can't be the mentor, right? Because you're breaking state laws by doing some of these activities. That's part of the financial preparation. So again, you could be life licensed or securities licensed, but if you're not one of those two, we really can't do the implementation. So you can't do the implementation, but you could certainly generate awareness and drive people in, get paid the front end income, but to get paid the back end income, I don't know how to get around it unless you petition to change state insurance laws. So, but again, you can have an agent on your team under your branch, Rainier, that's doing this. That is perfectly fine. And the goal of the branch manager, if you will, or the owner of the branch is not to be a lone ranger, to be a solo operator. You, of course, are going to want to have a team that's going to help you implement. So this isn't a change to that. We're just clarifying that part of the financial work that you're doing falls under legal regulation, that you can't be going out and doing financial analysis and setting up smart money plans if you're not properly licensed. Okay, hopefully that helped, Rainier. So it's not a problem, it's not a change, but there's just some things you can't go out and practice law without having a law degree. You can't go out and sell real estate without having a real estate license. You can't do some of this financial work without being properly licensed. But we can help you, or you can delegate it down to someone on your team. Okay, so Peter then asked a really good question. So we frankly only recorded the first session, and so we'll start enrolling people today. We call it 9/1 live date, but then next week, this coming weekend, Labor Day weekend. So we'll stay ahead of the pack, in other words, because they roll out a new topic each week, and so we'll stay a week ahead of the pack. In terms of your role, you won't be responsible for scheduling them. And let me actually flip back again. Sorry, we're going back and forth because Peter's got a good question and it shows that I didn't do a good job. So the implementation process, Peter, is here at the bottom of the page. Oh, didn't share. Here at the bottom of the page. And this is really all that you need to be worried about right now. You're not responsible for scheduling them to view those classes. Once they've enrolled in the SBC, we'll set up an automated sequence so they'll get invited to the first class, and then their mentor will work with them afterwards. Then 1 week later, they'll get invited to the second class, which again is available on demand. All right, Christopher asked, hey Thomas, do I need to get licensed as an insurance agent as a branch manager in order to receive compensation from clients? No, and you probably typed that before I answered part of this. So no, as running a branch office, you're paid the front end, but we're going to need a mentor somewhere to work with them on the implementation side, and that mentor needs to be licensed, either life insurance or securities. They'd be on your team. And so you don't have to be, you could have someone on your team that meets those compliance guidelines. Christopher's asking for us to come out and teach. So let me flip back again and we'll go back to where we were. And so he's asking, do we charge to come out and teach? And the answer is no. So now we're back onto this. And so we'll go back over to small business certification. And no, it's the same. We do a 50-50 split of the people that have enrolled in the small business certification, and we'll come out and teach, and there's not an additional charge. It's just the same 50-50 split. Thank you, Christopher, for asking. Mr. King asked, will we have access to the organic lead system you have in place? Well, you can do the same. I mean, we're paying for leads by going through Upwork, and we've had some trainings on that. You're encouraged, if you want to, William, to use Upwork and have lead generators for yourself as well. There's no secret to that. We've given you the scripts, and you can go to Upwork and find a whole host of people that would be happy to generate organic leads for you. So we're not wanting to be a middleman where we're upcharging leads or what have you. This would allow you to simply get your own telemarketers if you want, or lead generators. They can develop leads online or telephonically for you, and you would pay them directly and you'd get the leads directly. So the whole labor pool is there ready for you on Upwork.com, William. Anna asks if you become licensed and not with a branch. Yes, so you do not need to be part of a branch to offer the small business certification. So that's fine. Anna Marie, you can be licensed. We can get you appointed properly, and then you're going to be able to help us implement these steps. We'll teach and you implement. We teach and you implement. And so this is not restricted to just branches, so you're fine. I'm sorry if I confused you on that. And Peter asked if you didn't want to do the implementation. Yes, so that's right. So Peter, if you generate the leads and follow the implementation process that we had just a moment ago, we'll teach, we do teach these lessons, as we've talked about, the first on-demand lesson you can see there. And then if you don't want to implement, that's okay, Peter. Yeah, I didn't mean to suggest. You don't have to do the implementation. So you can take your half of the front end, and then we'll teach and we'll take care of the back end implementation, and you don't even have to mess with it. So that is perfectly acceptable. Okay, let's see here. Teresa asks, is this the same as the $2,500 refundable program? No, what you're asking about is the Capital Ready Package 2.0, Teresa. And while the Capital Ready Package 2.0, effective tomorrow, September 1st, will start with the same educational curriculum. We're going to be doing the same curriculum for all clients that enroll in the small business certification, which is the page we're on, for all clients that enroll in the SBA Express, and for all clients that enroll in the Capital Ready Package 2.0. So this is the front end, that's the education and the loan packaging. So it will be the same. The difference though, Teresa, is if they're in the SBA Express, then we're going to go ahead and move forward in helping them get an SBA specific loan. If they're in the Capital Ready 2.0, then we're going to move forward and help them get funding with a $100,000 minimum. If they're just going through this curriculum, it concludes with the capital match, which does not include specifically us helping them get funding or guaranteeing that they'll get funding. With that being said, though, you could certainly enroll people in the small business certification. We take them through the 4 weeks. We have now an existing relationship with them. we've demonstrated value, we know how fundable they are, then we could certainly offer them the opportunity to upgrade, if you will, into the Capital Ready Package 2.0. If it's in their best interest and our best interest, they would just pay the difference and then they could upgrade. But in summary, Teresa, this is the same as the first 4 weeks of the educational and loan packaging of the Capital Ready package, but this overall is not the same because this stops after week 4. The Capital Ready program 2.0 continues on through the point of funding. Hopefully that helped, Teresa. All right, so Tony asks, as a branch manager who has an insurance licensed staff person, when I enroll someone in the SBC, will I be assigned as a client's mentor? Yes, sir, absolutely. The last thing we want to do, well, we're not going to redirect people away from you, but we have to have the mentor function, someone that's able to legally do it, right? So that's right, Tony. As a branch manager, you'll have educators on an educator, singular, or educators, plural, on your team. And so then these people are going to come back to your branch. That's the preference. We're not trying to take anything away from anyone. We're just explaining if you don't meet that criteria, it's okay. We still could be helping people together and you can still be making the front end, even if you don't qualify for the back end income. Thank you, Tony. And those of you that are not life insurance licensed or securities licensed, this may seem maybe it'll seem less relevant. But to those of you that are securities licensed or life insurance licensed, you're like, dang, this is the best thing since sliced bread, because what a way to build a massive volume. Let's take life insurance agents, for example. They usually love helping people, but it's kind of hard to build that lead pool. This does it for you, right? We're directly solving a problem that almost all small businesses have in terms of needing improved financial literacy and then access to capital. And so we're solving their problem, and then the insurance portion comes along with it, right? Because you're doing a financial needs analysis with them. You're doing a personal financial statement. You're learning about them and their assets and their liabilities and their income and their expenses and their current insurance coverage. And so it's putting you in the right place at the right time to have an incredibly high probability of conversion. So this is a big deal. You're going to find licensed life insurance agents running to this because it is probably the best lead generation system that they could have. Now we're doing more than that, and this isn't designed just to develop life insurance leads, don't get me wrong, but the end result of it is it's magnificent for life insurance agents. Okay, so Rainier says, to clarify, if you're not if you're not licensed, you don't get the back end of the key person policy. Well, that's right, because state insurance laws would say that you're breaking the law if you took money for a regulated service that you're not licensed to provide. Like an attorney can't split their fees with you if you're not an attorney. A realtor can't split their fees with you if you're not licensed as a realtor, and so forth. Those are state laws. But if you're a branch manager, as you are, Rainier, and you bring in financial literacy educators that are on your team that are properly licensed, now you have that money coming through your organization. Hopefully that answered your question. Oh, and Peter asked, and I mentioned this, and again, it's my fault, I wasn't clear enough. For us to come out and do the live training, we need 20. And then we're going to teach it all in one class, and this is important, Peter, and I'm not disciplining you, just clarifying. So if we come out and teach it, we're going to teach all 4 lessons in one day. And it's great. People love it. Commit one day and knock it out. And you're going to find, and a few of you have already started to do this, you're getting sponsors to pay for it. You're finding that there's community organizations, banks, and others that see such value in this that they're literally paying the $396 for people to attend, paying for it in full or in part, and that's fine. And I would even argue, and this is a bit probably confusing, what again, you can validate this by going through the lessons yourself, but what we're teaching here is good stuff. It's very good, and it's very much needed. My point is, you may see this a bit like a seatbelt law. With seatbelt laws, people don't really get excited typically over clicking their seatbelt, but as a society, we know that we can keep people safer if both adults and children are properly secured in the cabin of the vehicle. So there's kind of a public policy benefit. Well, this here is something certainly that's analogous to that. Your churches, your chambers, your business organizations are going to probably be even more excited about this curriculum than even the individuals, because what you and I know and they know is that it's hugely important that people be properly trained to be able to be successful. And we're providing practical, proven, award-winning curriculum to help them have a foundation. Sure, the carrot to the participant is help me get access to capital. But what you and I know is most of these folks need some extra training, what we'll call financial literacy, to qualify for funding and to know what to do with it afterwards. But the answer, Peter, was we need 20 paid for us to come out and do it live. Of course, we need 1 minimum to do it online. All right. All right, so Joseph says he's confused as the fact it sounds like now if we enroll someone on the Capital Ready, we cannot be paid the $5,000. No, I didn't say that at all. If you enroll someone in the Capital Ready program, then you certainly are paid the back end up to the 5% of the capital raise. Nothing has changed about that at all, Joseph. What I'm saying is please don't, and you're a licensed realtor, right, Joseph? What I'm saying is please don't go out and break the law. Don't pretend to be securities licensed or life insurance licensed and start doing work that falls under that licensure, because that's not the right thing to do, and you can't get paid for that portion. But no, this doesn't have anything to do with your sharing of the capital raise from the performance fee of Capital Ready Package 2.0. Sorry for that, Joseph. Yes, Monique, as of tomorrow, September 1st, clients enrolling in the Capital Ready Package 2.0 and or the SBA Express will be automatically plugged into this 4-week curriculum, just like those individually enrolling in the small business certification. Now, if you enroll them in the entrepreneurship program, then you're teaching them. Again, that's the difference. So if you enroll them in the entrepreneurship program, they're not going to get access to this from us. They're going to get this from you. If you enroll them in the small business certification or Capital Ready 2.0 or SBA Express, then they get this from us automatically for all clients. Frankly, enrolling today going forward, we're allowed 24 hours to onboard a client. So you can start enrolling people today, and anyone that enrolls today will be plugged into this curriculum starting tomorrow. Thank you, Monique, for asking. Christopher asked a good question. How do you enroll in the SPC program? And I'm going to have to stop the share again, and we'll go back over because Christopher is very good at showing me that I'm not as good of a trainer as I sometimes think I am or aspire to be. So let's go back. And so the implementation process for Christopher and everyone else is right down here, right down here. So Christopher's asking, how do we enroll someone? Well, first you educate them, encourage them to watch that free video for the first lesson. You can also have them attend the daily webinars that we do at 10 a.m. Central for prospective participants. You're going to have them fill out the inquiry form at the bottom of the same website page. You're going to collect $396 from them. You're going to keep half, and then you're going to send the other half to us. So these are the 4 steps. And these are the same as they were last week. All we did is we revised to add this highlighted yellow line because there's a new tool available for you. Hopefully that helped you, Christopher. Let's see. Mr. Harris asks, the training for educators, does that exist in webinar trainings? Yep, yeah. We have quite a bit of training available online, and then we're doing the trainings here in our offices every Friday, starting this week. So each Friday, we have those of you that are interested in coming in, and it's a free training that we do. It's a full day training from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time. We'll provide you lunch, and you would just get with Jennifer and get that scheduled. So that's for our branch managers. If you're not a branch manager, you don't need to bother coming to training, but branch managers that qualify can come starting this month, well, starting September, this week, to our live trainings. Now you need to register because we have limited space, but you register through Jennifer, and there we go. All right. Let's see. Are there any other questions that we did not address? The goal today was to let you know that the Small Business Certification Curriculum program is going live tomorrow, but you can enroll people today because we'll onboard them tomorrow for those that are enrolled today. You're still paid the same. And now we have the first lesson available that you can give out as a free sampling. We'll be recording, of course, lessons 2, 3, and 4, but we won't be giving those out as free samples. We won't. Those will be password protected, and only those that are enrolled into the curriculum will have access to that. But we're making the first one available to the world to see. And that is, again, that link is clearly visible. I'll show you here one more time. Is clearly visible here. So we're on, we're on our IIMFL website. We're going to the Small Business Certification, which you can access by going here or drop down to here, either way. And so we've provided very clearly a link to that first video to watch. We won't be doing that on weeks 2, 3, and 4. The only people that will get access to weeks 2, 3, and 4 are those who are enrolled. And then Brandy had the last question. Yeah, if you have someone that has concerns or negativity, ask them to do this. Ask them to watch the first video and then get constructive feedback from them, Brandy. What did you like or what did you dislike about that first video? Based upon what you know that we're going to be covering in the subsequent weeks, what concerns do you have about that? And I don't think that you're going to find anyone that brings any constructive concerns about this curriculum or our implementation plan. I don't think you will. Now, if you do, let me know. But Brandy, I don't know if you've watched the video, but certainly you can go through the program yourself, but at least watch that first video. And anyone that expresses concerns, have them watch it and ask, what about this is it that you don't like? Is there something about our mission you don't like? Do you not want to help improve the economic empowerment of minorities? Do you not want to reduce the racial wealth gap? Do you not want to help our brothers and sisters improve their financial literacy? Are you opposed to helping our brothers and sisters improving their credit scores? Do you have something against improving the economic outlook of minority-owned small businesses? I just can't imagine people pushing back on our mission statement. I can't imagine them pushing back on the curriculum or the details of what we're doing. But if you find opposition to anything that we're doing, let us know and we'll address it head on, Brandy. Thank you. All right, with that being said, the ball is in your court. The SBC, Small Business Certification, is alive and open for enrollment. You make $198 up front. I know that's not get rich quick, but you make a whole lot more than that on the back end, and $198 a pop now that you don't have to teach, I think is pretty attractive. So thanks everyone, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Have a good day. Bye.